Hey guys, it's Liz of Consume My Books, and I'm here to do a quick TBR pile for the month of December. I've decided not to do a rewind for October or November because the end of the year is coming up, and soon I will be making posts with the end of year bookish survey from the Perpetual Page Turner, as well as making a list of my top 10 favorites from the year. It might be 12, who knows? So no rewind because you're going to hear a lot about the different things I've read throughout the year soon. But I did want to share what I'm hoping to maybe read this last month of the year. I'm starting off with a series book, and this is one I'm currently reading. This is Cress by Marissa Meyer, and it is the third book in the Lunar Chronicles trilogy. This one is out in February of 2014, but the first two books are already out. They are Cinder, which is a retelling of Cinderella, and the second book is Scarlet, which is a retelling of Little Red Riding Hood. And this one is actually a retelling of Rapunzel. I'm only about 50 pages into this one so far, but a character that I really liked from Scarlet is already getting a lot more screen time, if you will. I guess you would say page time. And I'm enjoying that about this book, so it's going to be a fantastic read. These books are always really quick, so I'm looking forward to reading this, even though I know The Wait for Winter, the final book in the series, is going to be terrible and agonizing. Next up, I have a book that you can't actually see because it's on my iPad, but it's another one that I'm currently reading, and it is Being Sloane Jacobs by Lauren Morrill. Lauren also wrote Meant to Be, which I enjoyed. It wasn't a favorite of mine, but I did really like it. Being Sloane Jacobs is about two girls who are named Sloane Jacobs. One is a wealthy senator's daughter from Washington, D.C. who figure skates, and the other is a girl who doesn't have as much money in her background and gets into fistfights and is a hockey player from Philadelphia. Essentially, these two girls meet in Canada, discover that they're both going to camps for their respective sports, and that neither one of them wants to go. And because they look alike, they decide to switch places. So basically that means that this book is kind of like a combination of The Parent Trap and The Cutting Edge, if you're familiar with those movies. If not, get familiar with them because they're both delightfully cheesy. So far I am really enjoying this book because it's a fantastic combination of these two things. It's humorous, but it also kind of tackles a couple more serious issues, so overall really great so far. I'm also hoping to read Sorrow's Knot by Erin Bow, which I have on here. That sounds like more of a fairy tale type story. I'm a little nervous because with sorrow in the title it sounds really sad, and yeah, I'm just a little nervous that it'll be kind of more of a downer than I'm ready for. But Misty over at the Book Rat has said really excellent things about Erin Bow's writing, so I'm gonna give it a shot. Alright, I have a copy of The Pet War by Alan Woodrow. This is a middle grade novel. It's about two siblings. One wants a dog, one wants a cat, so the parents decide, hey, whoever can raise the money for their pet first gets their pet. So I'm eager to dive into this one. It looks like a fun, quick story, so that makes me happy. I also have a copy of Time After Time, which is by Tamara Ireland Stone. This is the sequel to Time Between Us, which I read in 2012. It's similar to a YA version of The Time Traveler's Wife, and I'm eager to see where Anna and Bennett's story goes, so I'm looking forward to reading this one. Next up, I have a copy of Shabanu, Daughter of the Wind by Suzanne Fisher Staples, and I may not have said that title correctly. I'm not going to talk about how long I've owned this book. Maybe I will reveal that at some point. But it's been on my TBR for practically forever, and it's gotten a lot of accolades. It was a Newbery Honor book and was added to several best book lists when it came out, so I'm going to finally give it a shot. Next up, I have a copy of Dale and the Painted People by Alan Richard Schickman. Got this one for review a while ago. It is the third book in the Zangat trilogy, which is kind of a prehistoric adventure series, so I'm looking forward to finishing up this series. I do have my Stack of 5 winner from October still to read. That is Out of the Easy by Ruta Sepetys. I am nervous to read this one because Between Shades of Grey was so ridiculously good. So if you've read this one, please comment and reassure me that it is fantastic, because I'm sure it will be. I'm just nervous. because I'm weird. I have a copy of Rose Under Fire. This is by Elizabeth Wine and is the sequel to Codename Verity. Codename Verity focuses on air pilots. This one is set in a concentration camp, and I know that it's going to be really gutting and emotional, and also really fantastic. So it's another book that I'm nervous about because it's going to be so emotional, but it's also going to be awesome. So there you have it. And lastly, because I did say I'm craving historical, this one is not exactly historic, and it's not exactly the book I plan on reading. As you can see, I have Dark Triumph by Robin Lefebvre's. What I'm planning on reading is Grave Mercy, which is the book that comes before this, and it is about assassin nuns. It is the first book in the Fair Assassins trilogy. The reason I don't have that one out is because some of my books are still in boxes, including that one, and I will have to find it. Wish me luck. I have The Girl of Fire and Thorns by Ray Carson. I don't know if a lot of you guys know this, but I recently started another blog called Library Lore, and my co-blogger Allie highly recommends this book and will probably kill me if I don't read it soon. So I've got to get on that. It's high fantasy, and it's blurbed by Tamora Pierce, which is like, you know, oh, duh. So hopefully I will get to it soon. Next up, I have Vicious by V.E. Schwab. This is a repeat from my October TBR pile. This one is about supervillains, came out in September, and I would like to stay on top of this one because Victoria has another book coming out in January, The Unbound, which is the sequel to The Archived, and I think this one's just going to be fantastic, so I'm looking forward to that. I have 17 and Gone by Nova Ren Suma. So I kind of already know how this one ends. I didn't mean to spoil myself, but I somehow did. But I've heard the prose is really fantastic, so I'm looking forward to picking this one up. And lastly, I have a Christmas-themed book. The Stupidest Angel, A Heartwarming Tale of Christmas Terror by Christopher Moore. I had planned on reading this as my Christmas-themed read last year. I decided not to on a whim, and that was not a good decision because I really did not like the book that I read instead. So I'm going to stick with this one this year, and I hope it's a good one. So that's everything that I have to share with you guys for now. I hope that you have awesome TBR piles for December and that you are excited about everything that you're planning on reading. If you filmed a TBR blog, please link it up in the comments so I can take a look. And that's all for now. Happy reading!